This week's episode of Pluribus gave us a lot of clarity about the hive mind while also possibly introducing us to a character who might be the key to Carol saving the world. Let's talk about it. As always, this will include full spoilers for episode 4, so if you have not seen it, favorite this and come back to it later. I think there is definitely a deeper meaning to introducing us to the mysterious man from Paraguay at the very beginning of this episode, and let's not forget that he is the latest addition to the 13 people around the world that are not a part of the hive mind. When we first meet him, he is playing around with the radio and the frequencies, looking like he is very educated in that craft. I believe that actually might be the key part to Carol saving the world. How did all of this begin? How did the hive mind become something? If we backtrack all the way to the beginning of the season, the very first episode, that first scene, NASA collected a radio-based signal RNA sequence from deep space that eventually turned into the hive mind. A very important aspect of this character that we have to remember is that he wasn't detected as not part of the hive mind until far after Carol and the others. And a possible reason for that, again, just a theory, is that he might have figured out some type of radio frequency that jams the hive mind, resulting in them taking longer to find him. Carol is obviously against the hive mind, but she's kind of adapting to the situation and interacting with them. He is not. He has fully secluded himself from contacting them and taking every possible precaution way more than she has. And now that it looks like he's at least curious about Carol, he could be the answer to the question Carol asked herself this entire episode. How do I reverse this? Carol obsessed about this the entire episode as she tried to piece together everything she currently knew about the hive mind, eventually leading her to basically interviewing one of the others at her dining room table. And while that interview did reveal some very interesting facts about what her late wife Helen thought about her books, the one thing she walked away from that interview with was very important. They can't lie. So Carol does what I think only Carol would do in this situation, go to the hospital where Zoja is at and try to find some type of drug or medicine that is essentially a truth serum. This takes us to a very hilarious scene as Carol drugs herself, records herself, and watches the tape back to see if the drugs actually work. And in that moment, we find out that Carol is actually attracted to Zoja, which I think could end up being played out in future seasons. I completely understand where Carol is coming at in this moment, thinking that this truth serum would work on Zoja and she would be able to ask her whatever questions she wants and ask her how she can reverse this process. But it ended exactly how I expected to. While it did look like for a moment that it was going to work, as Zoja was really holding back any type of words she was wanting to say to Carol, the hive mind came to her rescue and Carol almost ended up killing Zoja. While Carol does come off as very cold at times, which we found out is partly because her mother sent her away to a rehabilitation camp at 16 years old, in that moment as Zoja is laying on the ground from cardiac arrest, she looked very guilty and looked like she had feelings for her in that moment. Things are getting real interesting on Pluribus. Yes, there's a million different questions out there with very few answers, but Carol is learning more and more about the hive mind each and every episode while exhausting all possibilities, and just like I talked about earlier, it could be the man from Paraguay who has the answers